Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
I don't know what happened to our video. It didn't start.
Yeah. Let's take it from there. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to see you again.
Sorry, I don't know what happened anyway. So imagine if we stopped worrying about getting older and we actually just enjoyed every minute of every day. What do you think that would look like, Roland?
Oh, well, that's what I try every single day, to be honest. Becoming 62 in less than 4 months. I try my best every day. And yeah, that's... I know we are both, almost the same age, and we try to live, so let's say, as healthy as possible, working out, eating probably. So, and I had the idea for the topic of the show because our dear friend and colleague and team member, Red, is writing a book about aging sucks, and sometimes it sucks, but the positive thing is we can do something preventive that it sucks less. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yes, I'm working closely with Red, and I know he's got this book coming out. I saw one of the book cover ideas today. It looks amazing. I think that there is a certain fear about getting older, about not being relevant, about not being able to take care of ourselves, about potentially being locked away somewhere alone and hoping someone will come and visit us. And I think that we have a lot of choice in how we age in terms of the decisions that we make. I know when we're younger, sometimes I'm going to include myself in this. It's kind of like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm going to be here forever. And then you see someone that you love and that you care about, they pass away, or someone's killed in an accident. And all of a sudden you realize I'm not going to be here forever. So what do I do so I can really enjoy myself? And I think that this is where we have opportunities. And I'd love your thoughts on this. Do we just say, okay, I'm really just going to enjoy every moment and do whatever it takes to enjoy it? I'm going to drink, smoke, stay out late. I'm going to get a little sleep. I'm not going to drink water. I'm just going to enjoy myself. What do you think, Roland? Is that a great strategy?
Well, I don't know if this, but this isn't enjoying for me. I have a different view of enjoying my life.
Me too.
But I about 100% understand you what you're saying, Dr. Jacalyn. Yeah, some people believe when they can consume whatever they want. Yeah, like smoking, drinking, I don't know, sugar or whatever. They believe that they're enjoying life. Maybe on the short term. Maybe it's on the short term that you have some fun or pleasure, maybe in the short term, but for sure not on the mid and long term. For sure not on the mid and on the long term. So I enjoy living healthy, and I always say, meaning to me, living healthy doesn't mean be ascetic or that I don't enjoy life. No. For me, it means that I love to eat healthy because I love the taste of real good food, for example. I love to work out. It's not that I have to. I love to meditate. I love to walk in nature. So it's not something that I have to. I force myself to do because I understand. I understand that I have to do it to be healthy and fit. I love it. So, but I understand people who believe that the other way is a better one. Yeah, I mean, there are different point of views, but on the long term, I think that we have better choices.
And I think something that's really important that people don't realize is we get to age. Not everybody does. Not everybody is here for the entire ride. And instead of being angry or of feeling like you're sacrificing, giving something up, it's like anything else. If you don't take care of it, there's going to be wear and tear. There's going to be damage, and you're going to see the damage. If you think about a car, for anyone there who drives a car or owns a car, there's certain things you have to do to maintain the car if you want it to run properly. And can you miss an oil change every now and then? I don't think so. At some point, the engine's not going to be running properly. So what we have is an engine, and we have to take care of it. But again, I've heard people say, well, so and so did all the right things and they died a tragic death. So why should I care? Why should I bother? Well, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't have a magic wand. All we have is research. All we have is what we can see for people living in the blue zones about what actually makes a difference. So, what are your thoughts, Roland, when someone says we're all getting older? What comes to mind for you?
Of course, yeah. Most of us getting older. If we don't have an accident or suffer from a really bad sickness, the question is how we become older. How we get older. That's the point of view. For me, it's not about becoming 120 or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's not my goal. My goal is to live life to the fullest, to enjoy every single day. Meaning that I can form a business, reach my goals, that I can, that after my business meetings or what I'm doing, I'm with my beloved one, with my kids, with my grandkids, my beloved one, with my friends, and I'm still full of energy. I'm still fully present. I'm still full of energy when I travel. Whatever I'm doing. So this is my goal, and that's why I keep going, staying fit and healthy. That's the point. And what you said, Dr. Jacalyn, some people believe, yeah, if I don't, I want to have this sweet, I want this chocolate or this, I don't know, alcohol or whatever. They feel good with this. Yeah, maybe I don't have these things every day. And some people say, yeah, well, you're not enjoying life. No, but I can enjoy different things. I can walk. I can get up without any back pain. I can walk on climb a mountain. I can travel as long as I want. I can perform in business and without feeling tired or suffering, or that I have to force myself or drive up my discipline like crazy, although my body says, no, I need a break. So maybe I don't have this extra alcohol glass of wine or this extra chocolate or this extra whatever, but I have this extra energy to do whatever I want.
And that energy is truly important because there are plenty of people around the world who don't have energy. We just did another show before this. This is Flocks. There are plenty of people in the world who are suffering, who are in pain, and who are struggling. And so we want to be really aware of that. But worrying about aging is not going to stop the process. And I know many people who worry on a regular basis. Well, I'm just a worrier. Well, maybe address how that's impacting your life, because it is definitely taking a toll. I sleep really well at night. I think you sleep really well. There have been times, obviously, in life when you might not sleep as well. Same with me. But if you are a person who is consistently finding it hard to fall asleep and stay asleep because your mind is consistently going, that could be a sign that you need to do something to address what is at the surface. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. I guess sleep quality is a good feedback about your life. And you know, my grandma, she used to say, "What did you? How did you eat? How did you? Sorry, shit. And how did you sleep?" This was always the three questions. You know, so eating properly, get rid of the toxic stuff your body cannot digest, and get a good sleep. I think sleeping is very good and important. And to be honest, when I was young, you know, my 20s, 30s, building up companies, building up businesses, I was very proud that I didn't sleep sometimes for 2 or 3 days, or I just sleep for 3 or 4 hours. But later I found out that's not good. That's not good. It's not healthy. And now I know that a good sleep is, for me, a good sleep is about 7 hours, more or less. without waking up in between. Sometimes I go to the toilet, but not like men in my age. I know from friends they go 3-4 times a night. No, I don't do this. But I could sleep is 7 hours, and I know, I understand it's also good for my immune system. So sleeping is very good. And as we're both working out, I know that my workout yeah, the let's say the better results I get from my workouts is when I sleep. You're building up muscle when you sleep and not when you're working out. So sleep is very important. And most people have sleep issues. They need a glass of alcohol before they fall asleep, or they need some pills or whatever. I'm 100% pill free, pharmaceutical free. So I go to bed mostly between 10 and 11. So what I found out for myself, I don't know about you, Dr. Jacalyn, but I found out in the last years to do everything very regularly. So go to bed almost at the same time, if it's possible. So between 10 and 11 at the latest. Sometimes it's a little bit later, but most it's 10 and 11. And I also try having the same eating hours and same eating patterns. And this helped me.
I do the same thing. Same thing. I eat the same thing every day. I go to sleep between 9 and 10. My phone goes on do not disturb at 7 at night, and it doesn't come off until 8 in the morning. And I follow a very regular schedule and pattern because, as I mentioned, this is a machine. And so it gets used to certain things. But when people are constantly pushing the envelope where they're staying out late and they're not getting a lot of sleep and they're drinking or they're doing drugs or they're smoking or they're vaping or whatever it is, it has an impact. You might not want to see it. You might not want to have to deal with it. But we're not here to judge. It's basically all of these things are adding up to aging faster than you would otherwise.
100%. And we had a few hours ago, we had another show, scripted, when we talked about unscripted. We talked about being by ourselves and feeling ourselves. And I strongly believe that when we learn that we really listen to our body, what is good, what is bad, when I eat this or eat this, when I avoid this, when I do this, when I do this, really listen. Is there a change? Does it have an impact? And I learned that. And it's also, my dogs, they always have the same battles. My dog feels uncomfortable when she doesn't get the food at the same time. She feels uncomfortable when she doesn't get a certain amount of hours to sleep and to rest. And so I learned from her, and I learned also for myself to have certain patterns. And some people may say it's boring. I don't know. The rest of the day is just fun and action. So I don't see my life boring because I have the energy. I get up in the morning around 5, sometimes 5:30. To be honest, I'm not the working guy in the morning. I cannot work in the morning. I don't like work, but I go for an hour and a half, at least, sometimes a 2-hour strong walk with my dog in nature. I love this. Before I come back and have my coffee and I start working. So I get up very early. I love the mornings, and I love this routine. And for me, it's automatically. It's not that I have to force myself. It became part of my life. I remember as a student, I was, I was partying as a student and sleeping until midday or something like that. But luckily, this changed totally, 100%. And again, not judging people, but I think what looks boring for the outside for some people is 100% power and it's 100% joy, because when you have the power to do whatever you want. And I know a lot of people are very successful in business, but they are suffering, and they try to smile, but when they believe that nobody's looking at them, you see that they're suffering from a back pain, didn't go to sleep, or have a headache, or for something. And I think we can all avoid this. And I think the good messages I want to give to our audiences, it's never, ever too late to start. I remember a few weeks ago, I met a guy on a camping site in Sicily, and he's in 60, a little bit older than me, and he's smoking a lot, drinking a lot, and stuff like that. Anyway, and he told me, Roland, I did so much, I was so sportive in my early years, that's enough. And I said, no, it's not enough. Of course, it was good when you do sports in the early years when you're young, but it's even better if you haven't done any sport in the early years and you start now. So I think it's very, very important when we get older that we keep going. Not aggressive, not full power, but yeah, working out, walking, swimming, running, bicycling, whatever. It's so important. And I hear a lot of people just told me, especially business people, that yeah, when I was young, I had more time. I was more. Now it's no, that's the other way around.
We have this same 24 hours a day. I think we get so caught up in humanity of busy. I hear this all the time. I'm so busy. And, you know, for me, busy is a 4-letter word because there's no value in the word busy. To me, it's a filler word. But what I think about is my own mother. And before her, my grandmother on my mother's side. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, she had a treadmill in her home. And when she was in her 80s, she was walking on that treadmill every single day. And she worked, I think she worked up until she was 78. And my mother, she played tennis up until she was 80. And I remember when the pandemic hit, that's when everything went downhill. And I think it was because she was by herself and I was unable to visit her because New Jersey was locked down. But she would have tennis, competitive tennis, as part of her routine 5 days a week. And so she would eat the same food. She always had oatmeal. She had her tea and she had yogurt. And that's what she would eat, the same thing every single day. And then she'd go out on that tennis court. Sometimes she'd play against people in their 40s. And she took it very seriously. And I really admire that because it was that regimen and routine. And then some people might say, oh, well, then she died when she was 84. Well, yeah, there were other extenuating circumstances, but up until then, she had a really good life. And that whole camaraderie of playing tennis with people and goals, I think it really makes a difference. So the good news, Roland, is that here we have the ability to make choices, and those choices can impact the rest of our life.
100%. You know, and we as a baby boomer, we grow up totally different. We have much more opportunities than some generation before. We have access to information. We can download a training plan, a nutrition plan, or see something, I don't know, tutorials, whatever. So information is available. It's all about coming into action and getting out of the sofa and starting. That's all about. And you mentioned your mom and your grandma. At the moment, I'm visiting my auntie because I'm taking care in the summer month for a little bit about how about her garden and the house. She's 86 and she has no dementia. She's very cool in brain. She is slim. And she also has her pregnancy. She has a very small breakfast, 7:30 sharp. She has an early lunch, 11 sharp. That's cool for me because this is my first meal at 11, so it's just perfect. I have one. She goes for coffee in the afternoon. Most of it I skip the coffee, and then she has a very light, small dinner around 4:35. What is cool for me because the same eating time 5 around. And then she's not eating anymore, and she's still fit. She's 86. She's still fit. She can walk. She can do her gardening, the house. Of course, I support her a little bit, but that's her pattern. And when they look, they have a ladies club. They go out for lunch, I guess every 3 or 4 weeks, something like that. And she said to me yesterday, the group is getting smaller and smaller because some of the girls already passed away. And I said to her, when you remember the members of the ladies club, who passed away? Are they smokers, heavy drinkers, obese ladies? And she said, yes, why do you know? I said, I'm just wondering. So those who really stay fit and eat, don't eat too much, get a good rest, a good sleep and stuff like that, they stay healthy longer. And as you mentioned, Dr. Jacalyn, it's not about getting that older. Of course, we never know when it's over, when we check out. But it's all about being as fit and healthy, enjoying until the last day. And I don't want to depend on someone who is feeding me or washing me or whatever. I want to be independent, and that's my goal.
One of the most important lessons that I've learned, I grew up in a home where we had a lot of activities that were centered around food. And we would all come together. Remember back in the day when as a family, everybody would be at the dinner table and eating. And so eating became an event. And my father liked to do what he would call dining. We're dining here. We're going to be here for a few hours having a meal. And what I've realized as I've gotten older is that food is fuel. And I've had to totally change the way I've looked at food, because I would think of it as a reward. I've earned this. I deserve this. I can have this. But the truth is that it's not good for you. It's not good to have huge meals and be up, people snacking until they go to bed, or have the screens on in front of them until the moment they decide to go to sleep, or drinking, or there's so many different things that are unhealthy. And so when you start to realize that you're doing a disservice to yourself, it's a different story. It's kind of like, oh, I don't want to put myself through this. And for some people, the wake-up call is you go for a physical and you get blood work, and you see that your blood work is off. And you talk to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, have you considered your lifestyle? What are the lifestyle choices that you're making? Oh, I'm eating 2 pounds of sugar a day, and I'm eating this, I'm eating that, because I've earned it, because I work hard. And then you realize, well, the only one who's going to go out of here in a hard way at some point is you, because you don't want to address your own choices. That's my opinion.
Yeah. 100%, 100%, Dr. Jacalyn. Sometimes we believe that I guess, when we mention food as a reward, and I think that's a trap, because I think that food, especially unhealthy food, is a legal drug that is available all the time.
Yes.
And I'm traveling all the time with my motorhome, and because I'm traveling a lot, I see a lot of gas stations. Of course, I need gasoline, and I think the food corner, especially with it's all high processed food, with sweets and stuff, is getting larger and larger and larger here in Europe at the gas stations. And I was wondering, because I'm not much into sweet. I love some good Italian ice cream when I'm in Italy. I love sometimes really good chocolate, but I never buy all this bags and stuff like that. But I was wondering how especially men, how many sweet stuff they buy when they fuel their car. And I think that, as you said, they see it as a reward or whatever. And I said, no. And funny thing is, I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember. I was at a gas station. And normally I don't buy an ice cream at a gas station. I always go to Italian homemade ice cream. But it was a hot day. I was driving long, and I've seen that my blood sugar was going down. I didn't eat the whole day, so let's grab an ice cream, a processed food ice cream from a certain brand. And I remember it was a new product they brought out, and I said, okay, let's buy it. It was quite expensive, so I took the ice cream out of the shelf, paid my gasoline, paid the ice cream, of course, took a bite, and then I threw it away. And the guy at gas stations looked at me and said, what's going on? Why are you throwing it away? And I said, sorry, it tastes awful, and it's just chemical shit. Yeah, but why you throw it away? It was expensive. You paid for it. Why don't you enjoy it? I said, yeah, I paid for it, but why should my body suffer? My purse was suffering a lot because I spent the money, but why should my body suffer from eating this? So I throw it away. But most people, when they buy things, they finish it. Or I remember when I was a kid, we always had to finish our plate. And I never forced my kids, when they're full, why should they continue eating if they don't want anymore? It's unhealthy to eat if you're not hungry. So we have to learn this, or we have to relearn that we eat on a natural way, meaning we eat not 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day, except when we are hardworking or hard outwork. Right, that's a different, but most people don't do this. But that we eat only once or maybe twice a day on a regular term. And I learned from Japanese people who are very healthy and very fit in old age, and they said, never eat until you're full. Stop a little bit earlier. That's what my auntie told me the same. She never eats until she's full. She stops. Because I'm used especially from old people, who experienced World War I or World War II. There was not much food available, that they always eat everything. My auntie said, yeah, this was 80 years ago, but it's over. Why should I finish my plate? It's not healthy. I don't feel comfortable. And that's a really cool statement.
No, it's a very cool point. And I've always heard, you finish your plate, there are people in the world starving. And one thing that I want to mention, because I think you were really onto something with the gas station, is I was traveling over the weekend, and when I can, I like to bring my blender and my protein and all of my things and my frozen blueberries, but sometimes it's just not possible. And so for 4 days, I was out of sync with what it is I'm always eating. And so I think my body was really impacted. Not that I made bad choices, I didn't, but when you're used to a certain amount of protein. And so long story short, I came back, and then yesterday I finished my first workout, and there was about 2 hours in between to the second workout. And so I really needed something. I was hungry, and I went into a health place, and I looked, and they had all these bars, different bars that you could get. So I picked them up, and I thought, okay, no sugar, but 11 grams of sugar alcohol, whatever that is. No. So I went through each of these things. None of them were healthy. None. Zero. So I ended up at the checkout, they had a banana. So I bought a banana, and I thought, okay, that's healthy. But people can sometimes get bamboozled thinking that something's healthy because the packaging has no sugar or healthy, whatever it might be. But look at the ingredients, and you'll see there's some kind of sugar substitute that's probably within the first 5 ingredients, and that's how they get you.
100%. I always say, if something has more than 5 ingredients, stay away from it. And a dear friend of mine, he's a marathon runner that I was years ago, and he said, people always talking about fast food. They said, what is faster than an apple?
Yeah.
An apple, even if
That's true. That's true.
But we always have choices. And what you say, because you also travel a lot, you bring your blender with me. I mean, if health is really important for us, and I come back, when the why is strong enough, then the how and the what is not an issue. And I'm in a new partnership, and my new partner, she said, "Oh, my Ron, you're a man in your 60s, and I never met a man like you, full in power with a good body and shape, and with a lot of force and energy. And what are you doing?" So and said, "Yeah, you will find out." So she saw me working out, and then she came to me, and she's slim, but she's not sportive. And she said, "What were you doing?" "I'm working out." "You do on a daily basis?" "Almost." "So can I start with you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." So she started working out with me. She started copying my food intake, and she's traveling a lot. And as you said, you bring your blender and your protein shake. She copied me. She said, "When you're traveling, what are you eating on the road?" And I said, "I always have plenty of boiled eggs with me. I eat a lot of boiled eggs." And she started too. She's now on a tour with clients, and her colleague said, "Well, what are you doing here?" She said, "Yeah, my boiled eggs. It's my protein. It's my fat. It's healthy. It's natural. It's not artificial, not processed." So she starts eating boiled eggs on the road, and she feels good, and she feels great. And she also started working out. Because just a short story, because she texted me and sent me a link of a 5-star hotel she's staying overnight. She said, "Wow, it's beautiful, and the breakfast is amazing." And I didn't react on this. I was texting back, and I said, "Oh, I checked the website. Looks great. And by the way, the gym looks amazing." That's what I'm texting back. Next day, 5:30 in the morning, I got a photograph from her. She sent me a message working out in the gym. And she does it on a regular basis. And what I want to tell our audience is, if you want, there's always a way. I mean, she's working, from 7:30 a.m. until 11 in the night with her clients every single day when she's on a tour. So many, many hours. And she could have 100 of excuses not working out, eating healthy, but she does. She gets up at 5 in the morning and shows up at the gym at 5:30 for sometimes half an hour, sometimes an hour. So there's always a way, and it's never too late to start. And that's the message I want to bring to our audience is, if you want to do so, if you want the life full, rich, powerful, with any pain, with any pharmaceutical, if it's possible, go for it. It's up to you, and it's not expensive. You don't need fancy gear, fancy stuff. Just do something.
I really admire what you shared about your partner. And I think that's important when you have a relationship and you're a good influence on each other. And I think it also comes to light when we recognize that something's not serving us. I'm over 4 months now, no sugar and no alcohol. And I don't even know how many days is, because it doesn't matter. This is my new life. This is the way it's going to be. And I've seen a lot of changes, although you might not look at me and go, oh my gosh, wow, I see this and I see that. But there's definitely changes, and they're all good. And I wouldn't have known about it if I didn't take the opportunity to look at my life and say, okay, does this serve me? But I think we're so interested in that quick high, so to speak, where you do something. It could even be shopping or gambling. It's something that gives you a rush, but yet there is a rush about being in control of your actions. There is a rush about being structured and disciplined and making things happen. And I think if we were able to change our mindset and think about what a real rush of adrenaline looks like. Yesterday, before I did my first workout at Solid Core, it's very hot here. And as you know, I work 7 days a week, holidays, birthdays, it doesn't matter what it is. I do coaching sometimes until 10 o'clock at night. And so I get enough sleep, but there are times, sometimes, I feel like, oh, so before I go into Solid Core, I have to mentally really prepare myself because it's a very hard workout. And so yesterday I was sitting in front of the building and I thought, okay, I've got to mentally get myself together. And I said to myself, you know what? You get to do this. There are plenty of people who can't do it. Plenty of people who don't even have the opportunity to get out of a bed, and you get to do this. So turn your mind off with any negativity or fear. I'm not going to be able to do it, because you will do it. And I went in there and I killed it. I crushed it. And I was really grateful because I know it's going to be hard, and I'm grateful that I get the opportunity to do it.
100%. 100%. Yeah, we always have choices. And you mentioned something when you mentioned that you over 4 months without any alcohol or any sugar. You said you had no idea how it would be. And I think I hear it from every person who changed her or his lifestyle, meaning doing more workout, eating differently. Everyone said, if I would have known the benefits of it, how I feel, why I would have started earlier. And what I mean is that most people, they are in this treadmill, busy, and it is like it is. They're overweight or obese, and they have no idea how it is if you walk up the stairs and you can breathe normally. They have no idea how it is to get up in the morning without a back pain or stuff like that. So that's where I really want to encourage people. Change your lifestyle and get the benefits, and be patient with yourself. And sometimes you fall back in old patterns. Yeah, it's okay, but next day is another day to restart. And I think it's so important that we take care about ourselves and get to know how it is when you are fit and healthy. And again, all the people say, oh, if I would have known earlier, I would have started earlier. But it's never too late. It's never ever too late. And my eyes are very small. I told you in the show before, I made some mistake this morning when I was working with a camel class, and Roland didn't read the instructions, so I get a little bit poisoned myself, a lot of toxic stuff. And I said, okay, can I do the shows? But I want to show up. And I said, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I was Googling. I said, okay, water, detox in nature, getting rid of the stuff. And what I want to tell is there's always a way to get back in shape and show up, and there are always options. 100%.
And I think that we have to be able to envision that. That's why I love vision boards, but look at where it is you want to be. So you decided you were doing the shows today, and you probably envision yourself doing it. And so in order to get from where you were to actually here on the screen, you took measures so that you could show up and you would be functioning. And I think that that's part of where we don't think that we have the choice. We feel like our schedules are so hectic. There's so many demands that we don't have the opportunity to get control of our schedule. And that's not necessarily true. Even if you're working a job that has set hours, there are other hours that you probably are wasting time doing something. And that's not a judgment, but there are many times scrolling on a phone, mindlessly doing something, maybe having phone calls with friends or family that go on for hours, and at the end there's nothing tangible to take from it. There's all different ways. It's almost like with money. If we write down everything that we spend money on versus we look at every dollar as an investment. What can I do with this $1? Sometimes we say, oh, well, I don't have enough money to make any investments, or it's only a cup of coffee, or it's only a cookie, or it's only, and meanwhile, it all costs money, but we don't actually put it all together. So when you start tracking things, then you realize, well, you know what? This week I spent X number of dollars on this that in 5 years isn't going to serve me.
It's an interesting point that you mentioned. You know what? I write every day. I have a list, and I write down what I spend on gasoline, what I spend on buying food and on the farmer's market, what I spend in restaurants, what I spend for my dog, blah, 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 blah. And the interesting thing is, when I was in Italy, I don't know why, but I was checking my list the last months, and I found a correlation between how much money I spend in restaurants and how much workout did I do. And the funny thing is, the more time I spend in money on restaurants, being with friends and having a lunch or dinner or whatever, or maybe a cocktail or something, the less time I spend on workouts. And oh, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe I should stay away a little bit more from restaurants and doing more workout. And that's what you said. We always make choices, and I can go every day to a restaurant with friends, or I can do a workout. Or, for example, I know that today I finished the Mutmacher show at 8:45 Central European Time, PM, so in the evening, or in almost in the night. And there are options. I know exactly what I'm doing. I take my dog for an hour walk, and then we'll be back at 10, and then I go to bed. And maybe some other people are opening a beer or a wine or on social media or whatever. No, I go out for my walk. So there's always time to do the right thing, to make the right decision.
I really appreciate that. It's the same for me. I know by the time I'm finished my second workout class, I know exactly what time it's going to be. And then I know I'm either hosting a TV show, producing a TV show, leading private advisory, or leading coaching. And so I have a window of 1 hour of time. And so what do I do at that time? I come home and I get ready for the rest of the hours that it's going to be. So I don't go out to dinner. I go out to lunch with one of our colleagues maybe every other week. And that's it. I don't go out at all to eat, because I just spend the rest of the time doing what I like to do, which is creating things. That brings me a lot of joy. And for other people, they really enjoy going out. And so it's whatever it is that you like to do. But at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, before you have the next birthday, how do you feel about where you are and what you are achieving? And so these little things start to add up. And it's not like you don't have control of it. At any point in time, you can say, what I'm currently doing isn't serving me, so I'm going to make a change. And is it scary? Potentially. Could it have financial impacts? Absolutely. But if you don't open the door or open the window to see what else is out there, you're always going to be exactly where you are.
100%, 100%. And
Roland,
when
I
we
know.
talking.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I know with you are moving into a new way of helping people. And I think it's important that we bring that in before we close out the show. So tell us who it is that you're going to be working with in this new capacity that you've got a lot of experience in, and how can you help them?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, most people know that my background is business consulting, business training. I was traveling for 30 years, working for big tech companies and facilitating in different languages, sales and management training. So what I still do if there is a need. But I found out that I want to do something more important to our society, and is bringing back intimacy and bringing back a good communication that couples live life to the fullest and enjoy their relationship. I see so many people in my age, and when I become 62, who are divorced or still are in a relationship. And I saw it also this winter, a lot of retired couples having money, sold their business, retired, bought a motorhome, travel around, but they don't talk to each other. They just live parallel, even when they watch TV, looking at two different screens, and I said, this is quite weird, you know. I want to bring couples together again, and that they really start communicating and live intimacy. So I'm writing a book about it. Actually, it's almost finished. I have to cut it down a little bit. It's over 500 pages, a little bit too much, but I want to bring back joy and into healthy relationships. That's what my business is the next project. And whoever feels or hears this and says, "Oh, that's interesting." I know mostly it's women who are more open than men. But I know that men are suffering from their relationship. They're working like crazy. They come home and then they're not really happy. And so, yeah, I'm working on that. So if you hear calling, just send me an email. I will let you know the details. My email address is office@rolandfriedl.com. There's no website about this topic. I was thinking about, no, I don't bring a website about this. I want to talk to people and start with them where they are at the moment and reach the goal they want to go. So in German, it's called Paradise with double A, and it's a little bit a play, you know, because paradise, we all know what a paradise is in English, and in German it's the same, paradise, but I write it with double A because par means in German couple, so it's a couple's paradise. And that's my new project, because I found out that's so important, and I experienced it by myself with this wonderful partnership I can live with, this open communication, with how we share our thoughts, our feelings, that this is really fruitful and joyful. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. That's fantastic. So it's office@rolandfriedl.com. Roland, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy your show later on today in German.
Yeah, thank you. So if everyone speaks German or understands German, or know people who speak or understand German, there are more shows coming up. A German-speaking show, the Macher Talk, and at 8 p.m., the Mutmacher Talk. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone, wherever it is that you're watching. If you would consider going over to YouTube, and if you're on YouTube right now, please consider subscribing to both of our channels, USA Global TV and Radio, where we've already earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award for over 100,000 subscribers. And we are working on that diligently on our Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck channel as well. Do you think you have what it takes to be a TV show host? Do you have a story that you like to tell? Do you like to interview other people? Find out if you have what it takes to join our team. Let's take a look.
Hey, you. Psst. Yes, you. Watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this. Your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to USAGlobalTV.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at USAGlobalTV.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.